everyone, and welcome back to the Rats Pack Media Podcast YouTube vlog
Extravaganza.
It has so many names, it has so many purposes, but we are right now on this deep dive of just going through brands, looking through their socials, looking through their Facebook ads, and giving them free tidbits. And you, the audience, well, you just get to benefit by learning along the way. How does that sound, everyone? Oh, we love it.
That's so great.
Yeah. He's so handsome. Wow, that's such a good review from the people. All right, today's first brand, Azriel, is it's a brand called Bailey's Boys. Does the name Bailey's sound familiar? I have no idea if that has anything to do with your previous client, but
As far as I can tell, they don't have anything to do with my previous client, but they are targeting the same audience, which I think is exciting. Just so that I know from you, are they currently running as this company?
they are not.
They are not. Wow. So let's just jump into them. I, as usual, am always frustrated when I'm not able to convert the dollar amounts from shekel into dollars. There doesn't seem to be like a drop-down menu or anything. But this is the clothing brand, even though there is the word boys in the name of the website and in the business name and on the Instagram and Facebook. Don't be fooled. They actually also sell clothes to girls. So if you were concerned.
I am not misled.
Yes, I immediately believed that they only sold for boys, and then I actually went to the top of their page, shop girl. And it's still called Bailey's Boys Girls Clothes, So the first thing I did was I opened up their Instagram and Facebook, and I see that they both have about 20,000 followers. And interestingly, when I was running ads for a client named Bailey's Blossoms, which was a baby girls clothing brand, which extended into older girls and then finally adult women, most of their audience was actually on Facebook. And it's interesting to see the times have changed so much that nowadays the average mother is probably on Instagram and not on Facebook as it was a decade or so ago. So I go in and I see that they have, again, about 40,000 followers, which, as we know, is something like 150 to 200,000 people that have engaged with their page in some way, visiting like I'm doing right now, message, comment, share, save, stuff like that. And then I go into Reels and I see that their videos don't do so great. Occasionally they get, this one has about 8,000, 6,000, 2,000, nothing like astronomical. Here's one with 10,000. And it's actually interesting because I actually have run ads in the past for what I would call like the more expensive average or product cost. So when I scroll down and I open even this page, so these products come out to about like $70, something around that number. I'm just going to do some math here. Divided by like 3.7 is the current exchange rate. $66 for this product. This one's like $72. This one's like $50. So these are not cheap products. Now you have to imagine, like, you have a kid. This kid is only going to fit into these clothes for a couple of months. Like, we're talking about 3 to 6 months in total. So you're only going to be buying this type of product if it's for some very specific occasion. This is not day-to-day wear. So where Bailey's Blossoms was much more geared towards everyday use products that, the typical price point might be somewhere around, let's call it $10 to $25. And so here they have dollar days, $7, sale going on right now. These are all $7 products. That's not what this store is going after. They're trying to go after this more premium, if you will, product. And what it means is that I'm not going to buy this for an everyday Tuesday. I'm going to buy it for a special occasion. So because of that, I actually would expect, versus Bailey's Blossoms that might have a return customer rate of, every 20 to 30 days or every 60 to 90 days, they might not have a return customer potentially ever, because they're buying it for that one occasion. Like, you imagine, I actually ran ads for like a brand that sold wedding clothes for toddlers. And so it was like a suit that they'd wear literally once for that one wedding and then never, ever again. And then the chance of actually getting that toddler to, the customer to come back is very unlikely, because it's just like for that one time. And actually, when I went to their Instagram and I went to their tagged posts, almost all of the pictures are from like photo shoots. This isn't like the one, oh, it's just like a day I'm, just going to throw him in the shirt. I'm going to put him in a shirt when we're having a family photo shoot, right? So that's really what I want to be targeting. So because of that, they're sort of like blessed, if you will, with a slightly higher average cart than Bailey's Blossoms had, which was closer to like $50, $60. This is probably closer to $70, $80, which really puts us in where we want to be as far as the average cart order or average order value for when we're targeting. But at the same time, much like Bailey's Blossoms, the name of the game is going to be figuring out how to top off what the users are buying. So when they come to a product page and they go and they add the product to cart, it doesn't do very much to get them to buy more. And there's a lot of opportunities. We spoke about this a bunch, about adding products to like gamify the system. So you see here that they do have a free shipping above $100. I'm not close. I still need to add another product or two to get over that number from this. So I want in here to add something that allows me to get that order value up higher. That's number one. Number two is that what I've seen is actually, I'm going to suggest Google ads, search-based ads for this company, because it's a very specific type of thing that these people are looking for. Like, I need it for a very specific thing. I want to run Google ads. And I've actually seen, when I was running ads for that baby, the suit toddlers brand, what I found was that their Google ads, which I didn't manage actively, were running at like a 200 times return on ad spend, like a crazy number. Because when someone's actively looking for a suit for a toddler for a wedding, they're willing to spend a lot of money. They're a very high, ticket value user, and they have a need right now that needs to be solved. And being there in that moment to show ads to is very relevant. So you want to for sure have Google ads. What that means is that you're getting traffic in that's super high quality targeted traffic, and leveraging lookalike audience is going to be a really important part of the strategy for ad targeting, because you're getting in these people, and now being able to create a lookalike to website visitors, that add to carts, to email subscribers, stuff like that, you're actively getting users that are super, super interested in buying from you. But the window for the retargeting is very short, right? Like, you imagine within 10 days, they're solving their problem, and it's either you or someone else. But after 10 days, creating lookalikes to those people is going to be very powerful. But I don't even think we spoke about this on the podcast. There is targeting within Facebook called behavior targeting. And what's really great about behavior targeting is that it allows you to leverage a lot of things that typically wouldn't be possible. So, for example, you could target people based on if they're parents. So that's actually a targeting option on Facebook, targeting people that are parents. But not only that, it actually breaks down the age of the kids. So if their kids are aged newborn to 6 months old, 6 months to 12 months old, 12 months to 3 years old, 3 to 5, 5 to 7, I think it's 6 to 8, 9 to 12, 12 to 16, 16 plus, or 8, I think it may be 16 to 18. And so now you're not only able to target parents, but actually parents of kids that fit this specific age. Unfortunately, there isn't a way to then target if it's a boy or a girl, but that's fine. Because even though Bailey's Blossoms, which was a pretty big client, was only targeting for girls because that was the product, this isn't only targeting for girls. This is both boys and girls. So to be there and be able to target all the parents of kids that are in that age demographic is very powerful. Now, what we did and could do for Bailey's Blossoms targeting, there's actually a ton of interest targeting. I think we've mentioned this quite a bunch already. Interest Explorer. And in Interest Explorer, there's a ton of child-related interest. I'm just trying to think what, like even like children's place.
Family photo shoot or something. What about that?
So I don't think photo shoots are going to be, but I spelled children's place wrong. Children. If I remember, there were like a ton of interest around clothing brands for kids. And so parenting. So again, even children's clothing is 300 million people have the interest of children's clothing. But then if I remember correctly, there were like a whole bunch of kids clothing brands. I don't remember the names of them off the top of my head, but like we had created a nice list of like 5 to 15 different brand names that were targetable. And now, obviously, it's going to depend on if that niche fits exactly your sort of brand, right? Like, is this brand fit, the same sort of demographic as the ones you're looking for? Which Bailey Blossom had a very specific brand. And when you first meet the owner, the thing she says is, I want to be able to dress my kid up in clothing that I would wear, right? So that's a very specific niche in the market. So that's the same sort of thing. This Bailey Boys really has to come in and say, I understand my market well. I want to be able to dress them up. I guess like they're going to prom or something. I don't know. Like, look at this.
Yeah,
like,
it
here's
looks like
this.
we're like the the Gap or like the
Right.
whatever
Right.
of children's clothing, right?
Right,
It's
exactly.
separated from Children's Place, which is more Old Navy or whatever, right?
Right, exactly. And so that's what I'm seeing here. So behavior targeting is going to be a huge part of this opportunity, because targeting based on the fact that they're parents, and then on top of that, there's a lot of other behaviors that we just never spoke about, but like things like their job titles, the company that they work at, the industry they work in, the zip code. Like, you could target based on the wealth. It used to be you could target very specifically like the type of car they drive, but it's like the top 10 or 25% zip codes. You're actually like targeting richer people.
Right.
Behaviors based on like if they're expats from other countries. So all of these are opportunities to target, not just specifically for this brand, but like leveraging behaviors in general is a really powerful thing. And I think that this audience specifically would do very well targeting parents of kids in that 3 to 8-year-old demographic, leveraging lookalike audiences and leveraging Google Ads. I think actually the combination of those three would be a really amazing recipe for this brand. I think that they have the content to do it. I do think that they should for sure work way more on getting just a huge, like, these sort of pictures are the sort of things you're looking for. And my wife, like, one of the things that I don't love, I see all the time, is like dressing your kids up all in the same clothes. But my wife's really into it. And so like having pictures like this, like, yeah, some parents want that. I don't know, people on here, that's what they're interested in, but that's not a thing I'm interested in. But there are definitely people in the world that like, dressing their kids up like this, that they all match, and being able to do that and show off. And actually, ironically enough, Bailey's Blossoms has a whole category of mommy and me. And exactly like what I said was dressing up your daughter in a way that you dress, but actually dressing the same as your daughter at the same time is the opportunity here. And this was able to add a ton of money average cart value because of the fact that they were selling that size. So that's the same
They
idea
have that
here.
option, right? They have the shop by collection. I don't know what that is, but I assume it's like being able to buy the clothing for all your kids in one shot. I don't know if that's a thing, but
Usually what collection means is that they like have a drop. And so the drop altogether, like the spring or the fall collection, is a whole. So this is like the collection that's live right now. Ironically, the shop by collection here. So here's their summer, polo, performance, outwear. It's not really how I define collection, but it's how they are defining collection. So
like
that's
if it's like normal for people to buy, let's say, the entire fleet of one style of shirts, right? Like
right.
they should really incentivize it. How many people are you're doing a photo shoot for or something, right? And that way you're buying literally the dress, the pants, the shirt,
Or even
for all
even
your
on
kids,
this
for all your
page,
kids. Yeah,
on this page have buy this similar style for girls,
exactly. Yes,
and have them go to the girl page to buy the matching thing.
right. And it's just like you shouldn't be clicking so much once you find the pattern you like or the style you like.
Right, exactly. Correct. And so that's definitely going to incentivize increase average order value. So those pieces together, coming in and getting people to buy more, being able to strategically target them using behavior targeting, lookalike audiences, and very specific Google ad targeting, has a really great opportunity for this brand. And the one thing that I think that they need to leverage more is like, I'm on the fence about it, because as I already mentioned, this isn't a casual clothing. This is like a more of like a specific day why I'd be wearing this sort of thing. But what I want to see is I just want like almost like videos like this. It's not even a video, it's just a set of images. Right? It's almost like they were taking like the photo shoot and they happen to take the pictures and make a collage or something. I want it to sort of show these more in the wild. So I would potentially consider doing more UGC, like a lot more UGC, and sending products to families. There are so many families on the internet that have Instagram accounts and YouTube channels, and sending to them and getting them to talk about your product. Now, what I find to be interesting is that a lot of people like, I did influencer marketing, didn't make me any money. And so the way I view influencer marketing in general is actually like to leverage the content of the person rather than the actual sales from the influencer. So even if you wouldn't necessarily be making so much money from this specific influencer, that's not the point. The point is now you have a video, an image, a carousel of ads that fit the product that you need to sell. And also with potentially like good quality imagery and videos that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise. Like to go and do in studio would cost you around the same anyways as it would cost to work with many, micro influencers. Like obviously working with someone with 20 million followers isn't the same as working with someone with 10, 15, 20,000 followers, but you probably end up with a better set of imagery that works well with your brand than you would if you went into studio. And I think doing that on scale would be really powerful for this brand. And I think that that's something they for sure should be working on, is just like creating relationships with families that are already on the internet and fit the sort of people that they want to work with, and sending them every season, a set of clothes to get videos and pictures and stuff like that to show kids in the wild, if you will, doing the wearing their products. And so that's I think the final point. And that I think there's a lot of opportunity here with Bailey Boys to run and leverage both social and search ads.
Awesome. Okay. Brand number 2 is a shoe company called Black Sheep. Let's check out those little bad boys.
Absolutely. So let me share my screen. Now, so the first thing I did when I went to their website was I was interested to know if they sell more than shoes. And the answer is they do, in fact, sell skateboards as well. And I wonder how well the skateboards sell in comparison to the shoes themselves. Now, you see here already, I see average or free shipping over $90. And I'm curious as to why it would, in theory, would be so low, because the average shoe is much higher. It makes me think that a lot of people are buying, we were just on that skateboard page. So it's possible that a lot of people are buying these grip tape for $7. That is not going to get free shipping. So the idea of what they're leveraging, it sounds like how they're leveraging that free shipping is just to not incentivize users to buy like these cheap products and then leave, but to actually go and buy a higher ticket product. So that is the first thing, is number one. Now I'm going to jump in. I actually see they have clothes also. So I didn't even notice on their site that they also sell clothes. I don't know how well these sell in comparison, but when you come to their Instagram, it's shoes all day, right? Like it happens to be, there's one post out of 20 that are talking about not the shoes. Here's another one. So it's like most of the focus here is on the shoes, which makes a lot of sense, because that's, I assume, where they started. And then, to throw in a sweatshirt isn't so difficult. But what that means is that they should be leveraging all of that opportunity for when they're buying a shoe to upsell them other stuff, because they have so much other stuff. They sell clothes, they sell accessories, hats, backpacks, socks, watches, sunglasses, belts, and skateboards. So now when I'm on this page, I want the user to know that even if right now in this sale, the person isn't going to buy something else, I want them to know that they should come back to my site for those things. So
it's also something we have to really establish right at the get-go, is that it looks like this as a brand is a little bit of a collab, meaning it looks like they do manufacture their own products, and they also are just reselling, major retail companies' products as well. There's a little bit of a mix here. That's what I'm seeing. Is that correct?
So when I come to the site, I actually went to brands, and I see they sell quite a lot of brands. But on the top here is their brand. So on this page would be all the products that they themselves make, this list of 9 pages of products. But they do sell shoes, and they do sell Nikes, Adidas, Vans, Converse, all that stuff. That's not their products. So it looks like the far majority of the shoes are actually not theirs. It looks like just the one pair of shoes. This one pair of shoes is theirs.
It's a collab also, right?
And it's Adidas. Yeah. But when you go to view all shoes, the best-selling products are actually not even theirs. Is this a pair of shoes? Oh, it's laces.
Laces in a blood bag.
Nice. So yes, it does look like, which is going to hurt average order value. I'm sorry, profit margins, because if you're selling a pair of Nike shoes, you're not making that much money off the top. Like, you're not making $115. You're probably making like $20, $30. So that means that they're really, even more so, they need to push users to buy the products that are making them the most profit. Like, that's what they have to be focused on. So, but that doesn't happen on here. When I add the product to cart, nothing, right? Yet again, like, in this opportunity to tell people, like, just get a shirt, right? Like, just add in a black sheep shirt, just like sorting by bestsellers on here. So they have here a gift card, and then they have
the Bill Murray t-shirt.
Bill Murray t-shirt. So here's looks like the first like branded black sheep product. I guess these 3. And just to have these 3 things or 4 things as like an upsell from someone buying, just so that they can squeeze out. Now, it's not even about getting the average order value up. It's about getting the highest average, profit margins on here. So that to me is going to be the thing that they need to focus on. How do I get users to buy the most profitable items? And ironically, when I come to their website, so this is the homepage. Now, I do imagine they get a better profit margin specifically from these pair of shoes than others, but I want to show off the things that make me the most money, right? And I've scrolled pretty far down the page, and there's only this one section here that they probably make, more profit from than the shoes. I imagine. I can imagine that selling Nikes, you're not making all the money. So I want there to be a way on the site to just inform users of all of the other stuff I sell. Now, I understand, like, I can't just sell tape, right? I can't just sell bolts for $5. Like, that doesn't help my brand. But I could focus on clothes, and I could focus on skateboards, right? These are $80 skateboard decks, and it's not even the whole thing. You still need to buy the wheels and the bolt. You still have to buy all that other stuff. And I'm curious, how much does it cost to buy all the other stuff? Are you going to make it easy for me? Grip tape not included. What is included? It doesn't. I mean, I assume that those who buy skateboards would know this, but it should be right here in that process. Get all the stuff you need, and that will increase the average order value and the profit margins by selling all this other stuff that they need to buy, right? They're going to need the wheels, and they're going to need the bolts, and they're going to need whatever other stuff. And even the decals, like even stickers, which is a big part of skateboard culture, should just be available and around for me to be able to upsell that user to buy more stuff. Now, just like we mentioned on the last brand, Interest Explorer, yet again, there's a ton of targeting around skateboards and like famous skateboarders that are worth looking into. There's 10,000 people that follow the Skateboard Mag. Skateboards, 25 million people, right? Like, just this one interest alone.
People still love Tony Hawk.
I was actually going to say Tony Hawk. So I was going to mention Tony Hawk, but it's actually interesting is that what people forget is that, so Tony Hawk has 4 million followers. The problem is that when you talk about a big celebrity, that big celebrity's audience isn't just the fan base of skateboarders, right? So you talk about anyone, like think about Lady Gaga, for example. So Lady Gaga is very famous. I'm relatively confident that Lady Gaga is an interest targeting on social media. 119 million followers. Now the problem is that Lady Gaga falls into a bunch of different things. Number one is her music, which is how she originally became known. But then she's in a lot of TV shows and movies. She like just was in the last Joker movie, right? So the amount of fame that she has from those things is much larger than her music. And then as you scale out more, just like her fame in general, like she has social media accounts, and so she's followed by these people, and now that becomes bigger and bigger. The example I give of this all the time is ironically Donald Trump. Now that we're heading towards the election, so Donald Trump has an enormous social following. I think it's around the same as the Lady Gaga number, like 100 million. I don't. It's actually they removed the targeting interest of Donald Trump. But the example on there was if you think about Donald Trump, like if you go to his Facebook page, it has like about 20 million followers. But the actual interest, which it looks like they removed because it's right now it's election time, so they're removing a lot of the interest for now. It's closer to like 150 million people. So how is it possible that 20 million people follow him, but then there's that interest much larger? And the reason is because the topic of Donald Trump is much larger than people interested in Donald Trump. So it's the one thing to think about when targeting based on these bigger people like Tony Hawk is that his influence is now today much larger than just hockey. Sorry, skateboarding. I was actually thinking about Michael Jordan. I'm not sure I ended up in hockey, but Michael Jordan is much larger than just basketball. Michael Jordan is much larger than just basketball. Shaq is much larger than just basketball. So when you have these much larger influencers that sort of like surpass just like what their main following follow them for, so now targeting them actually loses out on that what you actually want, right? So that's one thing to think about is that I wouldn't necessarily go for that much bigger name skateboarder. I would try to find the niche skateboarders that might not have as big a following, but for sure the ones that follow them are much more interested in them as far as what makes sense to try to sell them this type of product. Now, as far as the content, I want to see this all day. I literally want to see just people using their product for skateboarding. Now, what I know is that the likelihood is people wearing these sort of shoes. Now, obviously, people buying skateboards, hopefully they skateboard, right? But the people buying these shoes doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be skateboarding. So I also want to have on top of these sort of videos, which are important, right? Like for the brand, you want to be known as a skateboard brand. And so you want to have pictures and videos like that. I actually think this piece of content, specifically where the kid fell, is important. But I also just want to see a casual wear. I just want to see, the everyday wear, which I assume a lot of their products is how they're being used most of the time. They might not necessarily be, is this just playing basketball? It's playing basketball at a skate rink. So just that casual wear, I think, is important because I do think these shoes sell beyond just skateboarding. So I do like that a lot of their video content, I'm actually curious like how many views these videos get.
Well, I have a question about their content. Like when it comes to resellers of brands, I think they have two problems. Number one, they have to it's hard for them to showcase their own products. Meaning, look, I saw half of that stuff. They didn't even have any Black Sheep related products in there, right?
Yeah.
So you're selling generic Nike. It's very possible they didn't even make that content, right? Is it possible they just got it from Nike or something?
Could be. I mean, it didn't look like Nike quality video content, which is fine.
Right.
Like this
is Black Sheep. He's wearing the Adidas collab. He's wearing the shoes and the shirt.
So the answer is that I don't think that this is, what is he showing off here? Is this the kid? It's the kid. So it's for sure not from Nike. Like these videos are not from the brand itself. Like even though these are Adidas shoes, these are products that they're selling.
I see.
And it's actually not even them. This is posted on someone else's page, tagging them.
Right.
So I think that going out, again, it makes sense for them to sell all those other products, because if someone comes and they don't specifically like this shoe, but they want to buy shoes, they should be the place that sells these shoes. Like, for sure, to have those products on the site is a no-brainer. The question is how to leverage the user that's coming to the site to buy these shoes to buy other stuff that are related to the product. And that's really going to be the name of the game. And they're really not leveraging that in any way. Now, I could scroll all the way down to the bottom and see additional products, but you imagine what that looks like on mobile, right? Like, this is a thing I like to do a lot. One, you could just visit it on mobile, but I like to go here to inspect, and you can actually choose the size of the screen you want. This is like the iPhone 12, and this is what the average user is looking at, right? Now, you imagine how much further would you expect the user to scroll, right? Like, I just can't imagine that the user is going to get much further down the page than here. They probably will never even see this. So to have a place here where the user can see more product, again, like a pop-up on the site, something in the cart that'll let them buy more stuff. They mention on the top of the page that free shipping, but it's not mentioned here, you're getting free shipping. I definitely have more than enough products at this point to get the free shipping. Nothing's like pushing me towards the cart, the checkout page. And I'm curious what like they're, so I love being in ad accounts because I get to see all the details in the back end, but like, what's the conversion rate on here? Are they losing out on a lot of users because they aren't getting to that average cart value? Do people drop off because they're like, oh, shipping might take too long? I don't even know. Like, there's so many pieces of information I'd love to see that we don't get by just doing these brand reviews. But I think that focusing on their products and posting videos like this is important part of their brand, and leveraging the content that they're already creating. And these are all of these products are their products that they sell. So like, this video is a really great example of showing off a piece of content for not even the shoes. It's for these for this what's it called?
Looks like it's like a flint that's attached
tail
to the bottom
devil.
of your thing.
Tail devils, rail and tail devils. So yeah, that's what I think this brand should be doing and could be doing. And I think they have a lot of opportunity in this space because there's so many people. There's literally, what was the number? Like 100 million people interested in skateboarding. And they could leverage that to target those users, not just to get shoes, not just to get skateboards, but even the lifestyle brand that they have here should be leveraged. Now, what I found at the end of the tail end of that other video that we had playing on here, where they had that kid fall, I actually think that if they really wanted to go viral, they could probably just take a bunch of like fail videos and get a whole lot of views on them. But what's interesting is that there isn't there are some videos that have like a nice amount of views on them, but nothing like majorly viral, even though in theory videos of skate tricks should do well. Like, there's no reason. Like, I remember as a kid, like seeing videos like this on YouTube or whatever, and they did really well, like hundreds of thousands of views. So I'm just surprised by the fact that their videos aren't getting like 100,000 views, right? Like, I would expect to see more of those pieces of content that would get that many views. And I think that they're the sort of brand that could and should be doing that. So that's just like a surprise to me. Like 200,000 views right here. Right? So that's what I see here. And I think that there's a lot they could be doing, and they surprisingly are not running Facebook ads. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, we hope they start soon with us. Let's move on to the next one. It is a brand called Hook and Tackle. Hook and Tackle, you could probably guess what they're all about just by the name alone.
Is it Peter Pan?
It is not.
Not Peter Pan. Who would have thought?
You get one other guess, or else you're fired.
Oh boy. So Hook and Tackle sells fishing gear. That was my third guess. Now, again, this is a lifestyle. Like the last two, this brand and the last brand, This is very much a lifestyle brand. So if you come here for shirts, there's no reason why you wouldn't buy the hats, you wouldn't buy the swim trunks, you wouldn't buy the board shorts, you wouldn't buy the jackets. Like, this should be a brand that you come to and you're buying like everything, right? Like, there's so many
Committed.
things that
You're
they sell here.
committed. This is a it's more than just lifestyling. It's a hobby, right? It's a dedicated
Right,
hobby.
right. So they sell everything from like a regular button down, this is like a sailor shirt, to the casual everyday shirts, like fishing shirts. But then on top of that, they sell jackets and shorts and pants, and even, I think, they sell fishing equipment. I think. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't easily locate their fishing products. Like, so maybe I'm just incorrect. Shirts. It doesn't appear to me that they're selling accessories.
Just apparel only.
Yeah. Here they have hats. It doesn't look like they sell like fishing lures and traps or whatever stuff like that, which might be a smart thing, because on a website, like, the amount of money you can sell those things for is like really cheap, and maybe it's on purpose that they're not selling those things, versus the other brand that it makes a lot of sense to sell all those things and the bolts and stuff like that. So maybe here they're saying like, we don't want to sell those items. We want to focus on the clothing, the apparel side. So again, the first thing I want to see is, am I seeing tons of UGC of people catching fish? The answer is some. And they do a nice mix of mixing men and women here. But again, fishing is the sort of thing that gets tons of views. I remember, like, not that many years ago, watching like ESPN2 had like the, fishing Olympics or whatever it was, and people going out and catching fish, and like, it should just be videos of that getting thousands of views, of people posting like, this is a guy wearing a product of theirs catching a fish, right? And I think that these sort of videos should do pretty well, and posting them often. And then, like, we spoke about this with an influencer a while ago, where he should just wear, like, we spoke about this with Danny Duncan. We spoke about this with the Jabberwockies, about just leveraging the clothing that they're already selling and having them in the videos, and having them, post of them wearing it. But for them, they don't have to have influencers do it. Anyone who's passionate about fishing, which I'm assuming is an enormous audience, again, Interest Explorer would be a place for them to go, for them to see just how big fishing is. Finding influencers that they can send product to, they will never run out of influencers to send product to. Like logistically speaking, like, there's just so many people that they could send shirts to, and they can get good quality videos of influencers wearing their shirts. I wouldn't be surprised if they do already have famous fishermen. Now, I don't know exactly what that means. Like, that's very different than, a famous musician, a famous artist, a famous actor, but I don't know what a famous fisherman is. But there might be people that have tons of following. It sounds like this guy's relatively famous, and they should have content of these people and then leverage them in ads. If they're not running any ads, and there's a big opportunity for just the lifestyle of fishing, they should just have, even if not videos of people actually fishing, like we show that they do, but even just like the lifestyle of like getting on the boat, and like this sort of content. Now, I would probably like get hopefully a better video than this of it, but just the lifestyle of like boating, I think, is a big opportunity in this apparel space. So that is what I think that they should be doing on there. Again, interests are going to be important. Again, upselling is going to be a huge part of this, because if they're buying the shirt, why not sell them the pants or the shorts or the hat on, in the same purchase event? So on here, I want to be able to go to their page. I don't know why it's not sending me where I want to go. Sending me to here. I'm going to go to the shirt and I'm going to add a shirt to cart. I'm going to just sort by, I like to see the best sellers. So here's the best selling shirt. Would you have thought that this was the best selling shirt that they have? I would not
No
have
way.
guessed that. So
Seems like a performance shirt.
So now if I add to cart, I would hope that it would tell me about all of the matching stuff. And it didn't. It could have. Like it doesn't then tell me to buy the pants. It doesn't then tell me to buy the hat. And I think that getting that average cart value up is easy. Whoa, they have very expensive shipping costs.
Got to get that free shipping.
That you
It's a
should be
great way
getting
to
that free
deter it.
shipping. And I think that the average person would stop at this moment, right? And to say now it is not like monetarily worth it for me to buy just one shirt. Like it's just not. It doesn't make sense. So even to sell the same shirt in another color might be worth it. And to have on here, some people buy, the shirt. It's actually very interesting because I think did we speak about in other ones after sell?
Yeah.
Did we mention
Yeah, we
this?
talked about it. Yeah.
So I found something to be very interesting, which is that a lot of big e-commerce stores, to them, they say the best thing to sell after the cart is the exact same item again,
Amazing.
right? Which is like something you wouldn't expect. Like, oh, they just bought the pants, sell them the shirt. No, sell them the pants again. And it's just like a very interesting idea. But that's something you could do here, right? Like they just purchased the shirt, sell them that same shirt in another color. And you already know their size. Like that's a very easily accomplished thing. So I think again, interest targeting is a big part of this. I think upselling a different additional product. I think their content really is going to be the thing that gets it for them, just because there's no reason why their videos don't have 100,000 views of exciting people catching fish and wearing the products that they're selling. So I think that it's a relatively straightforward thing. I think that there's a lot of people that care about fishing and are interested in this hobby, lifestyle, whatever we want to call it. And I think there's millions of dollars, like tons and tons of money for them to make. Do you know how big this brand is right now?
I don't remember off by heart, but they're definitely making more than 5 mil.
So there's so much money to make just from like they already have Facebook Pixel stuff set up on here. So it's just a little surprising to me that they are not leveraging that. So they should make more money.
The last and final brand we're going to wrap today's show is a brand that I think is doing exceptionally well. They're in the jewelry space, which normally I know your views are like, okay, well, it's not, maybe not be the best, but I got to say, I think these guys are doing a lot right. And they've got a pretty solid Facebook ad, so I'd love to show our audience like a brand that's doing Facebook ads in the correct way.
Great. So let's open it up. Let me check out their Facebook ads and see what they're doing.
The brand is called Tiny Tags.
Tiny Tags. So I like this because your kid's name will probably not change so often. So once you get one, you could just keep it for a long time. And so that's like an important, like versus, other products where you just sort of wear it for a short time and then you move on to the next thing. This is the sort of thing where you'll wear it for a long time. Like my grandmother wore the same locket for decades. And so that is, I think that there's a lot of opportunity in here and quite a lot of influencers wearing it. Now you are looking at the price point and going, that's a really nice average cart. $635 for gold mini dog tags. So my assumption is most people are probably not buying this one and they're probably buying the $100 one, but that still puts the average cart at pretty high. And they have, you mentioned they have Facebook ads. So let's open up and see what their Facebook ads looks like. So I'm going in and I see that they don't have the biggest following on Facebook and they have a much nicer, larger following on Instagram. But I actually think that they sell more than just these tiny tags because when I went in here, I saw that they are showing off products that are not tiny tags. These are not their tiny tags. These are other things like the brand Tiny Tags. But I think that their brand is much larger than just these.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they sell by causes, right? And
Yeah.
so that opens up a whole other category of targeting, right?
Right. So I'm going to go into their page. I'm going to see what ads they're running. So they've been around for a long time. They have quite a lot of people in their Instagram and their Facebook account. 28 people with access to their account. So they definitely have a lot of hands here in the ad account. And the total number of active ads in here is only 16. It's not a huge number of active ads, but I'm really happy to see there's quite a lot of videos in here. And I think that this is going to be a big part of their strategy, are just influencer type videos, product. This is even like what would we call like a job, like what's it called? Like an unboxing video. I think that these sort of pieces of content are going to be important for them. I actually met another company that sells something similar to this. It isn't like super expensive jewelry. It's the bands. These they wear like bracelets, and they're not. It's not made of gold, but at the end of the day, it's about that. It's about the. It's really this brand recognition here on the bottom of their page. Like they show so many people here are using their images. Now the problem here is that I would assume they can't actually use most of the pictures from celebrities. Most of the time, people that are taken in pictures from celebrities, the owner of the picture is a paparazzi. And so you can't use a paparazzi image in ads because they own the rights to the picture. So unless you buy the rights from the picture, which are quite expensive, you probably won't be able to use it. So it's like a little frustrating that they do potentially have quite a lot of big name people wearing their product, but they actually can't, like they probably can't use this picture of Meryl Streep in their ads. Like it's very unfortunate, but it's just the way it is as far as the targeting now, content. But they do have just everyday people wearing the products. I don't know if I would go in the direction, like I mentioned quite a few times, of sending product out to people. Like this is a much higher average cart value. But what I would do is I would work hard in the box to get people to share about it on social media. Now, you obviously have to, fit in with the brand. You have to fit in the brand voice, how to get people to share. But I think that really is something they should be thinking about in the box, having a call out to tell people to use to post about the product on social media. The reason why it's not as simple. Like you sell someone a pair of pants and you tell them, hey, post about it. Like, okay, it's a pair of pants, but like it's a very like intimate sort of gift. And now to have like imagine having like in an engagement ring box, like, hey, share us on social. I don't really know that you could do that so well. So that really is something that they need to think about is how do they approach getting users to make content. Like this piece of content right here is exactly what I'm thinking about, but it feels like to me, no, this is just a random person. So that's what, like, this is the sort of content that I would have them run on top of what they already have running on here. They have the influencer, they have the unboxing, they have the showing off, but I want to see like pictures like this. I want to see videos like that. And I think that that's going to be, and we just spoke about this earlier, you can target people that have babies that are less than 6 months old. That is a behavior targeting. And you could target people that have anniversaries coming up. You could target people that have birthdays coming up. And I think targeting those people for this and having call outs, like, I don't know if you remember, like a long time ago, like 10 years ago or so on Facebook, you would see a person born in May that likes math, that has a da-da-da, and it will like write all of your interests out on a shirt. And it was just like leveraging Facebook's interest targeting, but leveraging the fact that you were born in a specific month. That's like a targeting option on Facebook. So
brilliant.
Running ads to people that are pregnant, or running ads to people that are just gave birth, running ads to people that have an anniversary that month. All of these are reasons why they might come and buy your product. Now, we spoke about in the very first brand that we mentioned today, that jewelry, just like clothing, it fits different reasons why I buy. Some are everyday casual, some are, only for weddings, some are for photo shoots. This sort of product is that thing that I would buy and I would wear it potentially for years and years and years. So I want to be there in that moment for the user who's going to buy it at that time for that occasion, and then potentially own it for a long time. And I actually think there's a watch brand, Patek watches, Patek Philippe watches. Their slogan is something like, I'm going to butcher it, but it's something like, you're not buying a watch, you're buying you're buying something to pass on to your kids, like the heirloom you're going to give your kids. So now, I don't know if do you know this brand? So this brand is like the most expensive watch company on earth. They sell products that are extraordinarily expensive,
like $10,000 expensive.
No,
more,
like $500,000 to $5 million watches. Like crazy expensive.
Like an actual heirloom. My God.
Like an actual, you're spending like $500,000 on this product, right? And so it doesn't even tell the price. Like, it's not, you don't even get to know. Like, if you have to ask, you're too poor for this product. But the point is that it's not about the watch. It's about having something that you can keep in your family for a long time. I'm actually curious if I could find their slogan. If I can spell. You never actually own a Philippe. You merely look after it for the next generation. That's the line.
Wow.
And so it's how
our products are too expensive to even wear.
Yeah. I mean, like here, average cost. The average cost is $20,000 to $25,000 for a Patek Philippe.
Nice.
And then they have ones that are way more expensive. Like they're like the price above the Rolex brand. So you want to think about when coming in with this brand. Like, it's great. They're running ads. They're showcasing. I really like this image specifically with the baby, because I think what I like is I like content. You can see it for a second and immediately know I understand what this brand's all about, right? So we mentioned already today, and you did a great job finding these brands. You mentioned today a skateboard brand. The second you see it, you see a fishing company, you understand, like, you get it. So a single picture, a single video does all the work. I don't have to go and explain, like, I have to sit there and explain to you, oh, this is what the product does. Let me tell you all the things about it. It's a very famous thing, Steve Jobs. So Steve Jobs, when he created Apple, he didn't do a great job telling you about the specs and about the gigabytes and about the RAM and about, whatever. It wasn't about what it was about. It was about what he was building a company like that. So there's this, we actually mentioned Simon Sinek on a podcast, but the Start With Why concept does a good job of really encompassing what I want in creative in general from a company. Is I want to see it, and I just want to understand what you're all about. And this picture here does exactly that. You just had a baby. They're part of your life now. And now you want to show off with jewelry that thing. It's the same thing you'd buy an engagement ring for. You're spending on an engagement ring potentially thousands of if not tens of thousands of dollars on an engagement ring. So it's to show this is my life now. Like, my life is dramatically different because of this thing in my life. So the thing here is the baby. And to have, a piece of jewelry, this would be, to me, an obvious thing to run ads to men that are parents of kids that are under 6 months old. Like, to me, that's the most obvious thing. And to have a picture to buy for my wife, one of these things. And I think you could probably convince the husband to buy the more expensive, rather than going after the $100 item, this $100 one, to get them to buy. And I'm curious if on this product page they do something like a third one that's 14 karat gold. Like, they could easily just add another one here That's 14 karat gold. I have the number 14. Again, I'm going to jump back for a second. In here, nope, it disappeared. Here, this one. So in here, they show you that it's expensive, right? So they say the 14 karat. I would just add on that product page these 3 circles, and you press onto them, and now all of a sudden you're buying the more expensive one, right? Because I think that when the user's like fighting between, if I'm already spending 100, what's a little bit more? Like, now again, don't think because I just made that comment that 600 isn't a lot more than 100. But you just imagine, like, in the moment when you're buying a product like this for for someone, you might say, you know what, it's worth it for me to buy the more expensive one because I know they're gonna have it for a while. I don't want to buy them just the cheaper one. Like, okay, I want to buy a pair of earrings. Okay, whatever. But this isn't about that. Like, to just change the whole story around the product to be about the heirloom. Like, this is the thing I'm going to keep in my family and remember, like, you know, like, you're going to carry your kids with you always, all the time. And that's really what that is. So that, I think that that's really what they should be doing. And potentially even to create a single, I'm curious, I didn't check. If you just click here, where does it send people? It just sends them to the homepage, right? I think that there might actually be a better experience if they send people directly to that product page. Design a beautiful landing page that just showcases maybe these 3 products I see. Like, it's essentially like these are the 3. It's either this little one, the tiny tag, which I assume was their very first product, or the skinny bar, accomplishing the same thing. But again, like, my grandmother had this locket, and on it she had little trinkets. I don't exactly know the wording. And on it was the name of each of her grandkids. She carried it around. And so I think that there's a big opportunity here to even upsell additional tags, right? Like, just to come back to people. I don't know how you would know that they had another kid, but to talk to previous customers and have them buy from you again, I think that there is a lot of stuff that they could do here. I think they're doing a lot right. I think that the fact that they have these pieces of content on here do a great and phenomenal job, and they have a good average cart, and they have, and they have a nice following on social, and they could do even more. And I think that being able to target, parents, fathers, specific ages of the kids, I think it's a gift that's easy to understand, which men definitely need, I think. And I think that they are doing a lot of things right and could do a lot more things right.
Awesome. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the next 4. We're going to keep going with these bad boys. We hope you enjoy. And feel free to reach out. Obviously, we got a lot of information to give and a lot of help to do. So let's make money.